to go to a mayor's conference. A mayor's conference is a mayor's conference for mayors.
Appointment. That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next step.
Is the clock finally running out for Mayor Tiffany Henyard? The embattled mayor of Dolton, Illinois, has been in hot water for a while, but things have gone from bad to worse recently. It seems her days of living like a queen on the taxpayer's dime are numbered. A lot has been said about Henyard's lavish lifestyle, extravagant spending, and questionable leadership. But now the stakes have been raised. Rumor has it that an arrest warrant is being prepared for her. And who can she blame for all of this? Her right-hand man, of course, who has allegedly turned on her in the most spectacular fashion.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
Let's set the scene. Tiffany Henyard, the so-called super mayor of Dolton, a village with just over 20,000 people, has been living large as if she is ruling over a major metropolis. We are talking about first-class flights, stays at luxury hotels like the Four Seasons, and dining at high-end restaurants, all paid for with taxpayer money. Just recently, reports surfaced of a trip to Austin, Texas, that cost a staggering $47,000. And this was not an isolated incident. These trips, along with other questionable expenses, have ballooned Dolton's debt to millions. Who does she think she is, a celebrity on a world tour? Meanwhile, the residents of Dolton are left to pick up the pieces of a crumbling local government and skyrocketing debt.
Hey everybody, is it the reason why you guys are not paying whatever that vendor is?
What was it for?
It was for shirts. That's what it's for.
But the real drama begins with Henyard's former chief assistant, Keith Freeman. Once her closest confidant, Freeman is now at the center of this unraveling scandal. He was more than just an aide. He was her co-conspirator in siphoning money from the town's budget for their own personal gain. It was Freeman who, alongside Henyard, orchestrated the lease of 3 luxury SUVs costing over $374,000. It was Freeman who managed to get Dolton taxpayers to foot the bill for tens of thousands in lavish expenses. And for a while, it seemed like this dynamic duo had the town under their thumb.
This is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor and people's...
However, once the feds got involved, everything changed. Freeman, facing his own set of charges, including bankruptcy fraud, has turned state's witness, reportedly spilling everything he knows about Henyard's financial dealings. The mayor's house of cards is crumbling, and it is her right-hand man who seems to be pulling the plug. He has been cooperating with federal investigators, and there are whispers that he has handed over some damning evidence. As if that was not bad enough, Freeman's betrayal does not end there. It is said he is now painting himself as the victim, claiming Henyard was the mastermind who coerced him into these illegal activities. Talk about flipping the script.
That the government always does it is to go and investigate people around her, and that's what they're...
What is particularly juicy here is how Henyard is handling this massive betrayal. She is not going down without a fight. In recent public appearances, she has been on the defensive, trying to cast herself as a naive leader who was misled by those around her. "I was manipulated," she claims. "I relied on Freeman to guide me on how things were done in Dolton." Really, Tiffany? After 8 years as a trustee, you did not know how the town's finances were supposed to be managed. That is a hard sell, especially when you consider the timeline of her own political career. She is not new to this game. She has been playing it for years. So when she says she did not know what was going on, it sounds like she is just trying to pass the buck. But can she really get away with it this time?
Make a one-day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon. And the main thing is...
For a moment, it seemed like she might. Henyard's brash style and unyielding defiance have gotten her out of tight spots before. She is known for dismissing accusations and even firing back at her critics in public meetings. Remember when she told a room full of Dolton cops to stop playing these silly games during a power struggle with her police department? This is a woman who is used to having the last word. She has even been vocal about running for another term, as if her current predicament is not already enough drama for one lifetime. But now, with Freeman singing like a canary to the feds, Henyard's prospects are looking bleak.
Developments in South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial.
It is not just Freeman who is turning against her. Rumors are swirling that other close associates, those who benefited from her reign, are also beginning to jump ship. Some are reportedly cooperating with authorities, hoping to cut their own deals in exchange for information. Henyard's once loyal inner circle is crumbling, and the feds are closing in. Insiders suggest that the FBI already has a mountain of evidence against her, enough to bring her down for good. An arrest seems imminent, and if that happens, Dalton might finally get some answers and justice.
Invoices lead to more questions, and sometimes we don't get answers to those questions. And so it's not about clickbait, it's about just making sure the right.
But how did it come to this? How did Tiffany Henyard, who once seemed poised to be a transformative figure for Dalton, end up in such a dire situation? Let's take a closer look at the rise and fall of Dalton's most infamous mayor. Elected in 2021, Henyard was hailed as a breath of fresh air, the youngest and first female mayor of Dalton. She promised change and progress for the small village. But from the very start, her tenure has been marked by controversy.
Had an awesome time on the backs of taxpayers, but what do we gain from any of these trips? We gain.
Almost immediately, her financial decisions raised eyebrows. Lavish spending on out-of-town trips was one thing, but the lack of transparency was quite another. Reports of missing financial records, suspicious transactions, and outright refusals to comply with transparency laws started piling up. The village of Dalton was not just being poorly managed, it was being run into the ground. Trustees like Tammy Brown repeatedly raised concerns, but their voices were drowned out by Henyard's iron-fisted control. She was not just a mayor, she was the queen of Dalton, and anyone who dared to cross her was swiftly dealt with.
Mr. Lacey is absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to admit your guilt first.
Henyard did not just misuse taxpayer money. She wielded the police department like her own personal army. There were numerous reports of her using the police to intimidate her critics and opponents. Under her rule, police costs jumped by 21%, with some officers receiving more in overtime pay than their actual salaries. And why not? The police, after all, were her enforcers. It was not long before she earned the nickname Dalton's Dictator, a title she seemed to embrace rather than shy away from. It is said that she once hired a DJ to demand respect from her constituents at a town meeting, blaring Rihanna's "Better Have My Money." Talk about nerve. And it did not stop there. Henyard allegedly tried to launder stolen money through her own charitable organization, Tiffany Henyard Cares. This so-called charity, which supposedly helps cancer patients, came under fire for failing to file required financial disclosures. The Illinois Attorney General even threatened legal action against it. Yet this did not stop Henyard from funneling thousands of dollars into it using public funds. What is worse, she used township employees and resources to support the charity. And let's not forget the bizarre episode where she proposed a law that would slash the township supervisor's salary by 90% if she lost her next election, a move many saw as a blatant attempt to rig the game in her favor. As more of Henyard's antics came to light, the village's financial health continued to deteriorate. What was once a multi-million-dollar surplus turned into a staggering deficit. Under her watch, Dalton's general fund balance, once comfortably in the black, now stands at a deficit of $3.65 million, thanks largely to Henyard's reckless spending. Residents are furious, and rightfully so. They are demanding answers, and it seems they might finally get them as the feds close in on their embattled leader.
Those officers to be on the street fighting crime, and instead we have several officers that are riding around to check.
If the rumors are true, the evidence against Henyard is damning. This is not just about a few bad decisions or ethical lapses. It is about systemic abuse of power and a complete disregard for the rule of law. Henyard's attempts to cast herself as a victim fall flat. when faced with the mountain of evidence against her. From lavish trips to blatant misuse of funds, from turning the police into her private security force to trying to launder money through her charity, the list of alleged misdeeds goes on and on.
Is there a motion to terminate Keith Freeman?
Is there a motion to terminate Keith Freeman? So what is next for Tiffany Henyard? If Freeman's testimony is anything to go by, she might soon be facing the music in a very real way. Her once loyal allies are jumping ship, the feds are on her tail, and the public is out for blood. It is a dramatic fall from grace for a woman who once billed herself as the savior of Dolton. And as the walls close in, it is clear that Henyard's days of flaunting her impunity might be coming to an end. But in the world of politics, especially in Dolton, anything can happen. Will she somehow manage to pull off another Houdini act and escape unscathed? Or is this truly the beginning of the end for America's worst mayor? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: this saga is far from over. Fans have not held back their opinions on Tiffany Henyard's ongoing scandal, and the consensus seems pretty clear. Her days are numbered. One comment sums it up perfectly. She is going down. This defense is too flimsy, and she has done too much. It is not just about the flimsy defense, but the sheer number of scandals piling up. People are tired of her excuses and blame-shifting tactics. Another fan does not mince words either, saying, "The average person would realize it's over when they are arrested. It won't click with Henyard until she actually goes to prison. Unethical means nothing to this person. Her game is to skew everything." This comment captures the frustration many feel about Henyard's apparent lack of accountability and the way she seems to manipulate the narrative at every turn. What do you think, folks? Will Tiffany Henyard finally face justice, or is she clever enough to wriggle out of this one too? Could Freeman's testimony be the key that brings her down, or will she find a way to blame it all on someone else yet again? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.